New Jersey, July 2026. Stoppage time. Neymar, maybe playing his last World Cup match ever, scores a penalty. Here's the scoreboard. Brazil 1, Norway 2. Seleção, five-time world champions, the birthplace of the beautiful game, just got knocked out of the World Cup in the round of 16. This is Brazil's earliest elimination from the World Cup since Italy 1990. Brazil hadn't been eliminated in the round of 16 of a World Cup since Italy 1990, when it fell to Argentina. BN Sports. 36 years. That's how far back you have to go to find a Brazil this bad, this early on the biggest stage in the sport. So today, we're asking the question Brazilian football has been avoiding for 2 decades. Has Brazil actually failed as a football nation?
Let's be clear about what Brazil is supposed to be. 5 World Cups, the only country to qualify for every single tournament. Pele, Garrincha, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká. The 1970 team is still called the greatest side ever assembled. Brazil isn't just a football nation, it's the football nation, the default answer to who's the best. But here's the thing about myths. They survive on memory, not on results. Brazil hasn't won a World Cup since 2002, 24 years. An entire generation of Brazilian kids has grown up never seeing their country lift the trophy. And it's not one bad tournament, it's a pattern. 2010, quarterfinal exit to the Netherlands. 2014, the Mineirazo, a 7-1 humiliation by Germany on home soil in the semifinal, the most catastrophic result in the history of the World Cup. 2018, quarterfinal exit to Belgium. 2022, quarterfinal exit to Croatia on penalties. 2026, round of 16 exit to Norway. Brazil hasn't beaten a European team in a knockout game since winning the 2002 final over Germany.
Read that last line again. 24 years without beating a European team when it actually mattered. That's not bad luck. That's a trend line. This one hurts extra because of who was supposed to fix it. The arrival of Carlo Ancelotti on the Brazilian bench had created huge expectations. The Italian coach was seen as the man capable of bringing order, hierarchy, and a winning mentality back to a generation full of talent. BN Sports. Think about what that says. Brazil, the nation that invented Jogo Bonito, that's supposed to have football running through its cultural bloodstream, had to import an Italian to teach it discipline. The most instinctive footballing culture on earth needed a foreign tactician to bring order. And even that didn't work. The project ended with an early elimination and too many doubts. Against Norway, it wasn't even close to a robbery. Erling Haaland scored twice. A header in the 11th minute, then a winner in the 90th. And Brazil couldn't find an answer until a stoppage time penalty made the scoreline respectable. Norway keeps its historic streak against the Seleção alive and once again showed that it has Brazil's number. Fox Sports, BN Sports. A team with Vinicius Jr.,
Neymar, and a golden generation of attacking talent got beaten by a nation of 5.5 million people who've never won a World Cup in their history. Section 3. Why this keeps happening. 4630. So what's actually broken? A few theories, and they all point at the same root problem. 1. Talent export, not talent development. Brazil produces generational players and sells them to Europe by age 18. The result is a national team of individually brilliant players who've never actually developed as a system together. Compare that to France, Spain, or even Norway, smaller footballing nations building cohesive tactical identities. Brazil keeps assembling all-star teams and hoping chemistry shows up on match day. It doesn't. 2. The CBF is a mess. Brazil's Football Federation has cycled through coaches and administrations riddled with instability and scandal for years. You cannot build a system when leadership changes every 18 months. 3. The world caught up. This is the uncomfortable one. Brazil isn't getting dramatically worse. Everyone else got dramatically better. Coaching, sports science, data analytics, youth academies, European, and even Scandinavian federations professionalized faster than Brazil did. Norway's entire program is built around producing and developing one generational talent, Haaland, with elite modern infrastructure around him. Brazil is still culturally betting on flair over structure. 4. the weight of the shirt. There's a psychological angle too. Every Brazilian squad since 2002 has played not to win the World Cup, but to not be the team that fails to. That's a different mentality, a defensive, anxious one, and it shows up in exactly the moments where Brazil has collapsed. Knockout football against organized European sides in the final third of matches. Now, fair's fair. Let's steelman the other side, because failed as a football nation is a strong claim. Brazil still holds more World Cups than any country on earth. 5. No nation has qualified for every tournament like Brazil has. Brazilian players still dominate rosters at the biggest clubs in Europe. Real Madrid, PSG, Manchester City. The talent pipeline hasn't dried up. If anything, it's still the deepest on the planet. You could argue Brazil hasn't failed, it's just been unlucky in knockout football, where a single bad half or one Haaland brace can end a tournament regardless of how good you are.
Croatia beat them on penalties. Germany's 7-1 was one historically bizarre afternoon, not proof of decline. Small margins, not systemic collapse. That's a real argument, but 24 years is a long time to call it bad luck. Here's where I land. Brazil hasn't failed as a football culture. It still exports more elite talent than any nation on earth, but it has failed as a football institution, a federation, a coaching pipeline, a tactical identity that can turn that talent into trophies when it matters. The raw material is still the best in the world. What's broken is everything Brazil builds around it. And until the CBF fixes the infrastructure, instead of importing another famous European coach every 4 years and hoping talent alone carries them, this is gonna keep happening. Round of 16, quarterfinals, heartbreak, on repeat.
36 years ago, a bad Brazil still made the quarterfinals. Today, a Brazil with Vinicius, Neymar, and one of the most decorated coaches alive can't get out of the round of 16. The question isn't whether Brazil can still produce genius. It's whether Brazilian football as an institution still deserves the crown it's been coasting on since 2002. Drop your answer in the comments. And if you think I'm wrong about this, tell me why, because I genuinely want to hear the case for the other side.